Hey y'all, Florida Boy here with you. Okay, so I'm back underneath the RV here, and if y'all saw my last video, you saw where I pointed out this LP gas line was rubbing up against the battery box here. So I took the wire loom off it, and gonna go ahead and mark it with a marker, so when I take this line off, I'll know exactly where to look. I don't think it rubbed on it. I really think the this wire loom it really helped protect it, but there's no way for me to tell without removing it. I just can't get a good access to it to see if it rubbed or not, and I can't take a chance. I've got to know for sure. So it's not that big of a deal to take off. I'm going to take out these little clamps right here that hold it, and I'll obviously have to take it off here, and then there's another connection on the other side of the LP tank. So that'll allow me to get a good look at it and make sure that it's not rubbing or didn't start to rub through. If it did, then I've got to go ahead and replace it. If not, I will reroute it a little bit and put a rubber insulation on it and a bracket so to keep it from rubbing up against that battery box. Alright, so back with you in a little bit. Okay y'all, so here's the line. I removed it. It came out pretty good. Removed the wire loom, the plastic sleeve that's over the top of it. And here's my mark. There's the mark I made to make sure I was looking in the right spot. And if you turn it over, you can see, try to zoom in on it, try to wedge it up here, I can put my finger on it. That spot right there where it just started rubbing on it, but it doesn't look bad. I'm not going to have to replace it. You can see this this thing's pretty thick. The tubing, I'm not sure exact diameter, but it's nice and thick. So I feel like I lucked out. You know, I feel like it could have been a bad situation, and it would have been a bad situation over time. That definitely was touching right where the split in the plastic wire loom is. It was rubbing on that battery box, and it eventually would have rubbed through, but it's superficial. You know, I mean, you can rub your finger over, it doesn't look like it's really removed any material at all. So again, we're going to insulate those points with rubber, and I'm going to try to bend this thing a little bit, get it out of the way, and put a bracket in there to hold it out of the way. So I think we lucked out, and I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll shoot a little bit more, show you the insulation when it's done. Alright, I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but there's a screw coming out of the battery box that I didn't see before, real close to this line. I just reinstalled the line on both ends. I still have to kind of bend it a little bit to get it where I want it, but I just noticed that, so we're going to take care of that too. Back inside the coach, you can see here's the battery box for the house battery. I just removed this humongous 12-volt deep cycle battery, and you can see right here where they installed a little battery charger, little 12-volt maintainer. Basically, I'm sure it's a low amp kind of trickle charger, and you know, that's cool, but the problem is the bracket that holds that is that screw coming through the battery box real close to that line. So we're going to go ahead and remove that screw and put a shorter one in there, and then we'll wrap this project up. Okay y'all, this is David, aka Florida Boy, back with you. Alright, so just about finished with the repair, and I think it came out pretty good. I'm happy with it. This is back to the T, and if you follow it down now, you can see that I totally moved it out of the way, rerouted it up, and any place where it could possibly, well, this is the only place where it could possibly come into contact with the battery box. I've got, I don't know, a good ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch clearance between the corner of the battery box. And you can also see that I insulated that piece with a piece of heater hose, and tie strapped it on there. So I'm real good with that. I don't think that's going anywhere at all. and plenty of clearance here where it was before on the rubbing on the corner of that bracket while touching that bracket. So I'm real happy with that. The only thing I haven't done yet is do a leak test on it. I'll do that tomorrow. I'm running out of daylight, but anytime you work with LP gas and you've taken a connection off, or periodically, not a bad idea to do it anyway, is just get some soapy water, spray it on all the connections, and look for any bubbles. Make sure you don't have any leaks, and I'll do that first thing in the morning. I traced out all the other LP gas lines the best I could. One goes up in the cab there, and everything looks good. I had a couple spots where it was resting on stuff, but not have any pressure where I was concerned that it would rub through. But I just moved those anyway. Just kind of bent them out of the way so they're not have any pressure or downforce on them at all. So I also don't know if you can see this or not, but I cleaned up a bunch of this wiring, all these harnesses, got that. And one other thing that I noticed that I didn't care for at all, that I'm in the process of fixing now, was they had this ground on here, and man, it's just bolted to the frame, which is fine, but you know, it's got all this undercoating and road grime and everything on it. So I scuffed it up so it'll make a good connection. I'll put a star washer behind it. And another thing I don't like is they use this red piece of heat shrink, and this is a ground cable. I noticed they did the same thing inside the battery box there for the house battery. So I'm going to cut that off, put a piece of black heat shrink tubing on that, get that squared away. So I don't know if y'all can see that, but I guess there's a better shot right there. So that's pretty much it. Tomorrow morning I'll go ahead and turn the gas on, leak test it, and that's it. I'm going to call that repair good as long as I don't have any leaks, and we'll move on to the next project. All right. Take care. Peace.